Hello, everyone. Good evening from my side. I hope all of you are doing well and welcome to this exciting and extremely important day two of the webinar, which is going to be all about syllabus area C. Let me tell you, last night we had a wonderful session, which was a blend of syllabus area A and B. Tonight, I will be focusing on syllabus area C. And then moving forward, we will have a gap tomorrow because I'll be busy with the AAA students. So tomorrow is going to be a gap, followed by Saturday and Sunday exclusive sessions for the syllabus area D and E, and we will knock out the substantive procedures over the weekend. Okay, as usual, a little overview, a little background, or a little uh, snapshot of the entire session. Just like last night, this session will be divided into four parts. The first part will be relatively short. It will last hardly 5 to 10 minutes. The second part, again, it's going to be very short, very brief, and it will last not more than 5 minutes. So over the next 15 minutes, I will be done with the stage one and the stage two of this session. Why stage one and stage two are squeezed for this particular session? Because stage one and two are more or less copy paste from the last night session. So you got to check out the stage one and stage two from the day one of the webinar. I hope so you actually attended that session. Okay, it's time for me to move forward, but before I do, give me a second. Give me a second, please. Okay, so let's start the show and let's start with the stage one. Okay, so my name is Ahmed and all eyes are on Monday, 2nd March 2026, which is going to be the D-Day. You still have got approximately 1 month, not exactly 1 month. So you still have got 28, 29 days. And if you are going to have productive 25 days, I'm dead sure that you can ace this exam in flying colors. In order to have productive next 2 weeks, you should consider joining the double A revision batch, also known as the crash course or the crash camp. Well, the crash course and crash camp can be joined by directly going to the website of VIFHE, and as a result of that, you can enjoy reduced or significantly lower prices and you can avail the revision camp. Otherwise, if you have got any other query, you can always reach out to the support team through the WhatsApp text. So the website and the number both are in front of you. Moving forward, well, my name is Ahmed, as I just mentioned, and I teach BT, AA, and AAA at VIFHE, which is a gold online ALP. I was part of the ACCA's elite panel where I conducted official practice to pass webinars for both AA and AAA. Those are the brilliant position holders across the globe for both AA and AAA, and these are the recent success stories from the platform of VIFHE for the subjects AA and AAA. Okay, moving forward, the pass rates of AA are 44, 47, 44, 47, and the last two results were consistent with 46% each. Now, the pass rates of AA have improved. Historically, they used to be 38, 39%, but there is still a room for improvement because they are not as good as FR, tax, or FM. Those are always 50% or more. So yes, it is a challenging paper. And why is it a challenging paper? Well, the course content itself is not lengthy and the course content is not difficult. You have got syllabus area A, which is about ethics, acceptance, and corporate governance. Yesterday or last night, we had a discussion on the same, followed by syllabus area B, which is about audit, risk, and planning. Last night, we had a discussion on the same, followed by internal audit and internal control systems, which we are going to explore tonight, followed by syllabus area D and E, which is the backbone of the syllabus. So if you ask me, tentatively speaking, I would say syllabus area A and B makes up 30%. Syllabus area C makes up another 25 to 30%, and syllabus area D and E easily makes up 40% or more. So yes, substantive procedures are very, very, very important. What about the exam format? The format is a challenging one. You've got section A, which is one of the most underprepared area of the exam. 99% students, they do not pay good enough respect to the section A, and ultimately they pay the price. So if you are damn good in section B, then you can ignore the section A. And when I say damn good, it means you can score 60 out of 70 in section B. Otherwise, you cannot and you should not ignore the section A of your exam. Imagine if you could score 24 out of 30 in section A. I don't think so that there no way on planet Earth that you could fail the final exam. It's all about giving respect to the section A of the exam. How can you pay respect to the section A of your exam? Well, I've got a very solid plan. I will provide you with the recorded lectures of section A questions using exam kit and the latest ACCA study hub content. So if you will solve and if you will attend 6 OT cases per day, you can finish the entire content over the next 12 to 13 days. That's round 1. And then you can do the same all over again. So over the next 12 plus 12, 24 to 25 days, you can actually cover all the section A lectures using both the exam kit and the latest ACCA study hub twice each. And I'm dead sure as a result of that, all of you will score 20 plus. Some of you might end up scoring 24 plus. Maybe some of you 22, 24, 26, 20. Nobody will score less than 20 provided you actually start giving respect to the section A lectures which are available on the VIFHE platform, on the VIFHE LMS. There are 3 CRQs. The first CRQ would have 30 marks followed by 2 CRQs of 20 marks each. Last night, we had a discussion on a 30-mark CRQ from the paper March-June 2024. Tonight, we are going to have a discussion on a 20-mark CRQ from the same paper March-June 2024. Last night, we did the question called Pimento Company. From the same paper, we are going to crack a question called Harper Company in the today's session. Mind you, Pimento Company was all about audit risk. Harper Company would be about the control systems. Why students fail this paper? Well, you can fail this paper, but if you are going to follow my instructions, you can turn the tables around by working on your typing speed, by making sure you are not unfamiliar with the exam structure and exam format. Don't just read the questions and the answers and the notes. Try and type them exactly the way I have drafted my answers in the latest master file. Don't underestimate the importance of section A, especially the ACCA study hub content. You got to work on the straightforward bookish knowledge. Last night, I also revealed a recipe to crack the straightforward bookish knowledge. Exam technique is important, and exam technique, well, if you are going to join the revision course, you will be given an opportunity to attend the lectures of audit risk, controls, procedures, everything. So the revision course will cover everything. Don't ignore the minor areas during the exam preparation. I think last night we saw that ethics, which is one of the minor topic, can be tested in the exam. Well, assignments and tests are important. Those are for regular and the recent batch students, followed by the mock exam. So if you are going to join the revision course, you will be part of the mock exam. So these are very important things. And then what? Moving forward. Yes, if you want to ace the AA exam, you got to prepare each and every topic from 3 perspectives. Prepare the section A questions, prepare the straightforward bookish knowledge, prepare the application-based, scenario-based questions. If it's a minor topic such as ethics, prepare the OT cases. If it's a minor topic such as ethics, learn the definitions, learn the straightforward bookish knowledge. If it's a minor topic, still prepare the application based questions such as Orange Financials or the Pimento Company. If it's a core major topic such as control systems, prepare the section A questions, prepare the straightforward bookish knowledge, and last but surely not the least, you got to prepare the application based questions as well. So there are three perspectives of double A. Each and every topic demands respect. What kind of respect? That each and every topic must be prepared from three different angles. This is a very, very important message. Last but surely not the least, how do I build success stories in AA and AAA? Well, I'll be working on your concepts and knowledge. But more importantly, I'll be working on the drafting techniques, the marking scheme, the master file. Yes, you will be given an opportunity to submit the mock exam and you will actually receive a genuine feedback along with the commentary, not just the total marks. So this is it. I am done with the stage one. If there is anyone having any query whatsoever in relation to the stage one, I am happy to answer. Otherwise, I am going towards the stage two. Okay, before I move towards the stage two, give me a second, please. Okay, guys, sorry, there was a problem, and as a result of that, I had to make you wait. So finally, I'm done with the stage one and moving towards the stage two. Well, what about the stage two? This is the stage two. Now, this particular document is basically this document is available and applicable to everyone. But ideally speaking, this document is going to be $1 million document for those who are going to join the revision batch either today or tomorrow. Now, what about revision batch? Well, if you're going to join the revision batch, you need straightforward plan. You don't need an overwhelming number of lectures. So this plan has got top 30 CRQs. This plan has got everything what you are looking for. So there are three stages. Stage one is about 30% weightage, which covers syllabus area A and B. Stage two has got another 30% weightage, which is about syllabus area C. And the stage three, which is about syllabus area D and E, that has got a weightage of approximately 40%. So here are the top 10 CRQs relevant to the syllabus area A and B. These are the top 10 CRQs in relation to the syllabus area C. These are the top 10 CRQs in relation to the syllabus area D and E. That makes your top 30 CRQs. If you are going to prepare all these top 30 CRQs with the help of my lectures, because lectures are available for each and every CRQ through the VIFHE LMS. So if you are going to prepare all these lectures, I'm dead sure you will be absolutely well prepared for an unseen mock exam. Yes, you heard me right. The mock exam will be an unseen one, not out of the top 30 itself, but as a result of preparing these top 30 CRQs with the help of my lecture, I'm sure you will ace the mock exam, which will help you in passing the final exam in flying colors. As far as the section A is concerned, I think I have emphasized the importance quite a few times that you got to prepare the section A questions. It's your make or break thing. So you need to access the lectures, all the lectures in relation to the section A, especially using the ACCA Study Hub, are available through the VIFHE's platform. So on 18th February, we are going to have the mock exam, On 24th February, we are going to have the mock debrief session because approximately it takes 1 week to mark all the scripts. So on 2nd March, you will have your final exam. So from now till the final mock exam, which is on 18th, we will have multiple live sessions, specially focused around the syllabus area D and E. Yes, syllabus area D and E. So we will have 2, 3 live sessions before the mock exam. Along with that, these top 10 CRQs, they will make you prepare the syllabus area D and E. So this is it. I am done with uh, the stage two, and now I am moving towards the stage three. Give me a second, please. Okay, let me go towards the chat box. Where can I find yesterday recording, please? I had connectivity issues. Well, the recording would be available probably after a day, and once it is available, you will be informed through the WhatsApp groups, either the global WhatsApp groups or the paid WhatsApp groups. So where can we get the master file? Okay, master file. I will share the master file right after this session, the new master file, the March 2026 master file. Uh, Sir, Section A questions on the VIFHE platform, or we should explicitly practice it from the exam kit and ACCA study hub. You are mixing it up. It's the same thing. Mustafa is saying, can you send the straightforward bookish knowledge? Yes, I will share the file, which is called straightforward bookish knowledge file in the WhatsApp groups after the session. Okay. Uh, Section A questions on the VIFHE platform. If you have access to the VIFHE platform, if you are already enrolled as a regular batch student, as a reset batch student, or if you are going to enroll tonight as a revision batch student, you will have access to the lectures. So you will solve the ACCA Study Hub OT case using the ACCA Study Hub. But as far as the lecture is concerned, you will use the VIFHE LMS. So this is how we go. Okay. Yes, I will send the knowledge based questions too. Don't worry. Okay. So finally, we are done with the stage two. And I think now we should move forward towards the stage three. And I think I should go towards the control systems now. Okay, guys, really sorry. Actually, I was trying to open up the new master file, but I don't know what kind of glitch is there. It says the file is corrupt. Anyways, once I'm done with this session, I will personally share the new master file, the March 2026 master file with each one of you using the WhatsApp groups. Don't worry. So, bad luck. I just wanted to open up the master file and guide you something, but unfortunately, it's not working. I will fix it after the session. This is the problem. The file's contents are corrupt and we are unable to repair it. That's the problem I'm facing right now. Anyways, let's go back to the uh, Okay, it is on the LMS portal. Thank you very much for the confirmation. So those who are enrolled with VIFHE, those who have access of the LMS, yes, approximately a couple of hours ago, I shared it with my support teams. I hope they have uploaded it on the LMS as you have just confirmed. That's wonderful. But apart from that, for those who are not part of the LMS, those who don't have the access, I will share it personally. Don't worry. No, 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 no. It is for the December attempt. No, the new one, the latest one. If they don't have it, the latest one on the LMS, don't worry. It will be updated tomorrow on the LMS. Otherwise, I will share it with in. I'll fix this file after the session, and I will share it in the WhatsApp groups. Don't worry, it's on me. Okay, guys. Sorry for the inconvenience. I was just trying my level best to make you understand and share some valuable things about the master file, but not to be. Anyways, I'm done with the stage one and the stage two, and it's time for me to move forward towards the stage three. And the stage three is about internal control systems, your syllabus area C. Mind you, within the syllabus area C, it's not just the internal control systems. This is the major topic, but along with that, there is a minor topic. Okay, new one is also available on the LMS. Thank you very much. Okay, so they have updated it. That's great. Okay, syllabus area C. Guys, let's start syllabus area C, internal control systems. But let me make you aware, it's not just the syllabus area C, internal control systems. Within the syllabus area C, yes, internal control system is the backbone. Yes, it is the most important topic. But at the same time, there is a minor topic as well. Now, what is that minor topic? Along with internal control systems, you got to realize and you got to understand that there is a minor topic as well, and that minor topic is called internal audit. So it's not just the internal control systems, it's a minor topic as well. Now, what about that minor topic? Well, I'm not going to cover that minor topic in this lecture, but we will explore a little question in relation to the same. So let's talk about the internal control systems. What about the exam requirements? What about the exam format? What about the marking scheme? What about the coloring scheme, which is not relevant as of now, but it is important? Okay, let's talk about the exam requirements. So when you will attempt your AA final exam, there is one thing for sure, approximately 20 to 25 marks could be tested from the syllabus area C. And if I add the straightforward bookish knowledge and if I add the OT cases, well, I would say that the weightage of the syllabus area C, especially when I combine both the control systems and the internal audit, the overall weightage from section A to section B would be somewhere around 30%. Now that is a huge number, 30%. Now what kind of exam requirements we can expect when we will be solving the final mock exam or the final exam? First of all, if you will submit an assignment, a test, if you will submit a mock exam, if you will go for the D-Day, your final exam itself, there is one thing for sure, your AA examiner would test something which is called straightforward bookish knowledge. Now, how can you prepare those straightforward bookish knowledge? Well, if you will prepare my top 10 CRQs in relation to the syllabus area C, you will automatically be well prepared for the straightforward bookish knowledge. How? Because in each and every CRQ, there is a part dedicated to the straightforward bookish knowledge, and I never skip it. I always pay good enough importance to it. I always emphasize the importance of that straightforward bookish knowledge, such as how do you document the client system, flowcharts, narrative notes, questionnaires, what are the advantages of each one of them, what are the advantages and what are the disadvantages of each one of them, how do you make an internal control systems, or what are the components of the internal control systems. Similarly, what factors would you consider when you have to decide that a particular deficiency is a significant one and a particular deficiency is not a significant one. So there are multiple straightforward bookish knowledge questions which are approximately, as I've said, there are around 7 simple book-based questions which you need to prepare. Refer to my file, which is called Straightforward Bookish Knowledge File, or refer to my master file, and automatically, with the help of the top 10 CRQs or the overall top 30 CRQs, you will be absolutely well prepared for the straightforward bookish knowledge. What about the scenario-based questions? Now, when I say scenario-based questions, it means examiner would like you to apply the knowledge. For the straightforward bookish knowledge questions, examiner wants you to ignore the question paper itself. The examiner always puts a note at the end of the exam requirement which says you do not need to refer the question in order to answer this particular exam requirement. But for the scenario based question, examiner would always say the other way around, which is using the information provided. So it means you got to read the question. Now there are 3 possibilities according to the last 4, 5, 8, 10, 12 years of past papers. So I started teaching AA in 2013. So if I consider the last 13 years of past papers and the examiner reports, I would say there are 3 possibilities or 3 possible style of exam requirements when it comes to the scenario based questions. Number one. Okay, number one, exam payroll system, maybe about the inventory system, or maybe about multiple systems. So maybe a small paragraph about the sales system, maybe a small paragraph about the purchase system, and the story goes on. Now, examiner would ask you to identify and explain, for example, 8 deficiencies in the company's systems. For example, in the company's sales system, for example, in the company's purchase system, or maybe examiner has given you 2 or 3 different systems. Mind you, examiner will not amalgamate multiple control systems. If examiner would test both the sales and the purchase system, examiner would bifurcate them with separate headings. Most likely, examiner would come up with 3 systems: sales system, purchase system, payroll system. So there will be segregation those between those 3 systems. Now, the examiner could ask you to identify and explain 8 deficiencies. Now, the burning question is, what is meant by deficiency? First of all, you got to understand internal controls are actually the policies and procedures. Internal controls are the rules and regulations. Now, those policies and those procedures and those rules and regulations are designed and implemented by the management. Internal controls are the policies and procedures designed and implemented by the management. So when you will identify a deficiency, it means it's a deficiency in the company's control systems, which could have a negative impact on the company's business, on the company's operations, their reputation, and that could have a negative impact on the financial statement items as well. So the first possible question which your examiner could test is, examiner could ask you to identify, for example, 8 deficiencies in the company's systems. And then once you have identified and explained the deficiencies, examiner would ask you that please provide some recommendation, some advice to the management through which they can actually overcome those deficiencies. So 8 deficiencies must be followed up with 8 recommendations. So deficiency along with the recommendation. So it means If the examiner would ask for 8 deficiencies, it means you must write at least 8 recommendations as well. And mind you, if the examiner has asked for 8 deficiencies and the question has 9 or 10 or 11, you should not write any extra pair or an extra point. Why? Because once the examiner has categorically mentioned 8 deficiencies, it means you are not going to write about the ninth point. Okay, option number 2, examiner might ask you, for example, identify and explain 5 deficiencies, along with that 5 recommendations, along with that 5 test of controls. Now, what do I mean by 5 test of controls? Imagine there were 5 deficiencies. As an auditor, you identified those deficiencies, you explained the negative consequences of those deficiencies. So well done, you have finally identified and explained 5 deficiencies. Now, in order to overcome those weaknesses, in order to overcome those deficiencies, you provided some recommendation. The recommendation to the management. Who's going to implement that recommendation? The management itself. Are you going to do it? Who are you? You are an auditor. No, you're not going to do it. So ultimately, once those recommendations have been addressed, or you have provided your recommendations to the management, you got to assume that a certain time has gone by. Let's suppose this is the next accounting year, and let's hope management has actually applied those recommendations. Now, I will be curious and I want to know whether the weaknesses are still there or whether things are looking great now. I gave my recommendations. They said, yes, we are going to follow those recommendations. Now they are saying we have actually applied those instructions, but I can't trust them. That is why I will apply certain actions. Now, those actions are called test of controls. Remember, there are 2 types of actions which can be applied by the auditor all around the world. Number 1, test of control, where as an auditor, I will be testing whether the control systems designed and implemented by the management are operating effectively or not. So it's an action, it's a test which will reveal whether the controls are operating effectively or not. So this is going to be a triplet question, because there is going to be 1 mark for identifying and explaining the deficiency, followed by 1 mark for writing a valid recommendation to overcome that deficiency, followed by another mark once you will write the test. What kind of test? Not the substantive test, which is about the financial statements, rather a test of control, which is going to test whether the control systems are operating effectively or not. Then once we are done with the scenario 2, let's move towards the scenario 3. So the third possibility is examiner might ask you the opposite of deficiency. Examiner might ask you to identify and explain the key controls, the direct controls, which is the opposite of deficiency. So, for example, if I am your AA examiner, if I can give you a poor sales system in the question, well, similarly or contrary to that, I can give you a very solid sales system. So if the sales system was weak, as an examiner, I would ask you to identify and explain the deficiencies. But if the system is a top-notch one, it's a brilliant one, it's a flawless one, I would ask you to identify and explain the key controls. Key control means it's a good control. It's a direct control which minimizes the risk of fraud and error. Deficiency is something which maximizes the risk of fraud and error. So let me give you an example. If there is a segregation of duty for a very important or a critical task, such as updating the sales ledger, issuing the invoices, and performing the bank reconciliation after chasing the payments. If there is a segregation of duty, it's a key control. And if there is not a segregation of duty and all those interrelated activities are performed by one single individual, well, it's a deficiency then. Examiner can give you a system full of deficiencies. Examiner can give you a system full of key controls, the good controls, and there is a huge possibility examiner might come up with a question such as available in my top 10 CRQs, such as the lectures available through the VIFHE LMS, where examiner will blend both. So a payroll system might have multiple deficiencies along with multiple key controls. An examiner might ask you to pick up the deficiencies and provide recommendations. Similarly, using the same information, examiner might ask you to pick up the key controls, and once you have identified and explained the key controls, those are key controls. Obviously, you're not going to give any recommendation against them. Those are great. So you will straight away go for that test of control. So overall, if you ask me that as compared to the audit risk, this one demands more time, more practice. Why would I say that? I said top 10 CRQs on audit risk, but you will realize that all those 10 CRQs have got approximately 95% similarity. Within those top 10 CRQs, if there is any difference at all, that difference would be sometimes examiner would give certain financial information within the question, and you have to make the best use of the ratios. And sometimes examiner would simply ignore the financial data. That's it. There is hardly any variation. But when it comes to the second major topic after audit risk, which is syllabus area C, internal controls, number one variation, examiner can test sales system, purchase system, payroll system, inventory system, bank and cash system, non-current asset system. So the examiner has got 6 different scenarios. Yes, those systems, they've got a lot in common, but at the same time, they are different from each other. There is no denial in that. Secondly, examiner can test deficiencies along with recommendations. Examiner can test direct controls with test of controls, or examiner can come up with a triplet where examiner would ask for the deficiencies, followed up by the recommendations, followed up by a test of control. So if you ask me that, Ahmed sir, I've got 5 days, how many days I need to prepare 2 topics, B and C? I would say invest 2 days for risk, 3 days for controls. If you have got 10 days, okay, go for 6 or 7 days for controls, 3 or 4 days for risk. I would always encourage my students to invest more time on controls as compared to the audit risk. If you have to make a compromise, don't squeeze the top 10 CRQs of controls, but you can always squeeze the top 10 CRQs of audit risk. You can squeeze it down to top 8, top 7, because if you are going to attend all my lectures, you will realize that after 5th or 6th CRQ, your game, your answer, your drafting technique will be absolutely superb, and there is going to be a huge level or a greater level of monotony when it comes to audit risk. But for controls, you got to press the accelerator, and you got to work harder, and you got to, respect the variety we have within that syllabus area. Okay, now the exam format. So if the question is about control deficiency along with the control recommendation, your AA examiner in the final exam will provide 2 columns. Obviously, you will come up with the headings. Number 1, control deficiency, followed up by the second heading, which is going to be control recommendation. Okay, that's great. Now, how would you identify the control deficiency? You will copy the information or the deficiency from the question itself. just like the audit risk, just like the ethical threat, just like the corporate governance deficiency. Now you have to develop your point. If you have to develop the audit risk, the strategy is different. If you have to develop ethical threat, the strategy is different. If you have to develop the control deficiency, now the strategy is different. How would you develop the answer? In the context of audit risk, you were supposed to write why is it a risk? Why you think that the client's accounting treatment is wrong? What the standard says. Now you have to explain why is it a deficiency. Now, when I say why is it a deficiency, you have to explain what problem this deficiency could create for the company, for the reputation, for the operations, for the future sales, for the profitability. Why is it a deficiency? Explain what problems can be created because of this deficiency. And finally, end your answer with an impact on business. Management will only consider a deficiency as a deficiency if it's going to create a negative problem for the business, for the operations, for the future. Once you start writing the impact on the business or impact on the client or impact on the operations, talk about the future. Don't talk about the past. So why is it a deficiency? What problems it could create? And as a result of that, how the business could suffer, how the business would eventually pay the price. That's how you develop your answer. What about recommendation? Well, there is 1 mark for recommendation, and let's not talk about the marking scheme right now. Yes, if you will identify the deficiency, you will score half mark. And once you will explain why is it a deficiency and finally the impact on business, such as loss of future sales, possibility of increased cost, high likelihood of losing the profitability in the future, you will score another half mark. If you will skip why is it a deficiency, and if you will just jump onto the impact on business, you will not score your complete mark. Similarly, if you will write the impact and if you will skip why is it a deficiency, lack of explanation would lead to, you will end up scoring not the full mark. What about the recommendation? Well, there is 1 mark per recommendation. Okay, what about the scenario two? Well, if the examiner would ask you to identify and explain, for example, 5 deficiencies, followed up by 5 control recommendations and 5 test of controls, well, now you have to use 3 columns. The third column would call test of control. Marking scheme is pretty simple. 1 mark for the control deficiency, 1 mark for the recommendation, and 1 mark for the test of control. So there are going to be 3 marks per triplet. Okay. And finally, let's move towards the scenario number 3. In the scenario number 3, again, you will use 2 columns. The first column would call key controls, followed up by the second column, which is called test of control. So the key control means you will identify the key control from the question, and then you have to develop. Now you have to develop why is it a key control? So previously we said, why is it a deficiency? Now we have to say, why is it a key control? And as a result of that key control, what positive impact it could have on the business. So it's exactly the opposite of the key control. So as a result of that, the profitability could go up, sales could boost, cost could go down. So it's exactly the opposite of what we studied in the deficiency. Yes, the marking scheme is simple. 1 mark for the direct control, 1 mark for the test of control. So we already know everything about it. Let's move forward. Okay. Okay, I am moving forward. I've skipped few things which are available through the VIFHE LMS. Now I want to move towards the exam technique. Guys, once you will when you will attempt your final exam, the double A final exam or the double A mock exam, examiner would ask you to identify the control deficiencies. Mind you, you got to use the copy paste technique for that. I would highly encourage you not to type anything when it comes to identifying the control deficiency or when it comes to identifying the key control. Let's talk about the deficiencies. So, if the question has reflected weak segregation of duty, that's your control deficiency. So if one single individual is involved in multiple interrelated activities, well, let's call it weak segregation of duty, which could lead to frauds and errors. Don't forget, because pretty soon I'm moving towards a past paper question. You might face weak segregation of duty in that question. Second, if a junior member of the staff is performing an activity, let's say some authorization, which should have been done by some senior member having great experience and skills, well, you will consider it as a deficiency because if a junior member is doing that activity and if he or she is not senior enough, that can lead to frauds or errors. So, again, a possible deficiency. Guys, hang on because pretty soon I will be taking you towards a past paper question. Now, if the question says for the purchases, the company does not require any authorization. Well, if that is the case, the employees can be making personal purchases, not business related at all. So if there is no authorization required, for example, up to an amount of $5,000, well, it means managers and the employees can easily be making personal purchases, keeping it below $5,000 because they know up to $5,000 they do not require authorization from a senior member such as the procurement manager or the director. That could lead to again frauds and errors. So please note it down. Weak segregation of duty, you might face it in the exam. Junior member performing a task which should have been done by the senior member, another deficiency. No authorization whatsoever, another deficiency. If a work performed by an individual was not reviewed by the senior member, well, there is a possibility that a fraud or an error could go undetected. So this will be considered as a deficiency. The senior person should review the work performed by his or her subordinate and he should perform the review and he or she should create an evidence of that review in the form of authorized signatures. Please don't forget these things. Number fifth, if, for example, in the company, salaries are being calculated manually, well, there is a possibility because of those manual calculations, a human error could take place, leading towards under or overpayment of wages, which will lead to all kinds of problems. If certain employees would feel dissatisfied, demoralized, certain employees would be getting an extraordinary pay, they might not reveal it, which is going to create a loss for the company. So if an activity is being performed manually, which could have been performed automatically, well, I will consider it as a deficiency. Having said that, if in my company, if the payroll is performed automatically, well, somebody such as a senior payroll manager should perform certain number of calculations on a sample basis, on a manual basis as well, just to make sure that the system has got no bug and no error whatsoever and the system is flawless. So if we are 100% relying on automation without any manual evaluation whatsoever, still I will consider it as a deficiency. Don't forget, because we will be cracking a question which might have these issues. Watch out for the no or not in the question. For example, once we receive the goods, we reconcile the good receive note with the delivery note, or before we actually issue the good receive note, we do reconcile what does the good delivery note says and what are the actual number of quantities. We even evaluate the quantity and the quality, but we do not reconcile it with the original purchase order. What if we ordered 500 kilograms and the supplier has delivered 700 kilograms? Because we did not bother to match it with the purchase order, we might receive 700 kilograms and eventually we have to pay for the 700 kilograms. Mind you, we did not need 500 more than 500. So watch out for the no or not in the question. Other way around, if your company evaluates just the quantity rather than the quality as well, you might end up accepting inferior quality goods, which can create a lot of problems for the company, especially in the production line. So watch out for the word no or not in the question. Examiner would tell you that this activity is not being carried out, which indicates a deficiency. Documentational issues. For example, one copy of the good received note should be sent to the purchasing department so that the purchasing department could perform a review that which orders have been fulfilled and which orders have not been fulfilled. Imagine one copy of the good received note retained by the warehouse, one copy sent to the accounts department, one copy sent to the supplier. What about the purchasing department? If I am the purchasing department and I initiated the purchase, I should be kept informed as well that which supplies have been delivered and which needs to be chased up. So the documentational issues, be very attentive about it. These are all my, I've extracted all these exam techniques with the help of examiner reports, technical articles, and the past papers. I'm sure they are going to be really helpful for you. So what about the impact on the business? I said future. It's about the future. The control deficiency will have a negative impact on the business in the future. Loss of future sales, loss of customer goodwill in the future, cash flow problems in the future, increased cost in the future. So these are all negative impacts on the business. What about recommendation? When you will write the recommendation, please, $1 million sentence. When you will write the recommendation, do not just rewrite the deficiency itself. Do not just repeat the deficiency itself. Add value. So if there is no security guard outside the bank, and if you will write the recommendation, there has to be a security guard outside the bank, you will not score marks because you have just reproduced the deficiency. Invoices are not sequentially pre-numbered. Recommendation says invoices should be sequentially pre-numbered. Not enough. Do not just rewrite the deficiency. All invoices should be sequentially pre-numbered and on a regular basis, such as monthly basis. A senior salesperson, such as the sales manager, should perform a sequential review. And if there is any invoice which is missing, that should be further investigated in order to overcome the issue or in order to verify what's going on. Now that will score a mark. Because how this is going to score the mark? Because I've not just rewritten or redrafted the deficiency itself. I've added value. I'm not just repeating the deficiency. I'm trying to add value, like who should perform? A senior member, such as sales manager, when on a regular basis, such as monthly basis. So this is how you can write recommendation and you can score your marks. Now I am stopping over here. And I'm not going for the test of controls and I'm not going for the key controls and I'm not going for the entire lecture. I'm done with the deficiency. I'm done with the recommendation. And why I am stopping over here? Because I want to move towards a past paper question. And the past paper question which I want to explore right now, it's called, guys, this is the new master file. I don't know the issue is resolved or what. So this is the latest master file which will be available. This is for the March 2026 exam window. And this master file has got approximately 10 CRQs on audit risk, followed by approximately 9 CRQs on controls, followed by 4 knockout punches on substantive procedures, followed by 5 CRQs on the same. So it's a very powerful master file, and each and everything should be used along with the relevant lectures. So for each, for example, Pomeranian, Grandstand, Francisco Company, everything, every document is aligned with the VIFHE LMS and the lectures. So make the best use of the VIFHE LMS. Right now, I'm going towards a question called Harper Company. Okay, here we go. Harper Company from the March, June 2024, I believe. Okay, it is 1st July 2. Okay, in the chat box, I've got a question from Azim. Where can we get this file, please? Come on, man. How many times I've promised during this session that the file is ready and I will share it with everyone. So, anyways, this scenario relates to two requirements. So you have got two questions. It is 1st July 20x5. Who are you? You are an audit supervisor with an audit firm, Revere and Company, and you are preparing the draft audit programs and reviewing extracts from the internal controls documentation for your client. So your client is called Harper Company. Their internal control documentation is available. So the client's control systems are well documented. So the documentation is available. Okay. Although payroll and inventory are standalone systems, the sales and purchase are fully integrated into the computerized accounting system. Harper Company is a home furnishings retailer with a head office, a central warehouse, and 20 stores across the country. A head office, a warehouse, followed up by 20 stores. So overall 22 locations. The company sells goods to individuals and corporate customers. Okay. So the examiner has given me something about the sales system, something about the purchases and inventory system, and something about the payroll system. That's it. Guys, how many control systems do we have in the AA syllabus? Overall, how many systems do we have in the AA syllabus? Sales system, number second, purchase system, number third, inventory system, number fourth, payroll system, number five, non-current asset system, number six, bank and cash system. So what do you think? Will you consider this as a great question or not? This question has flavors of 4 control systems out of the 6 we have in the study guide. So this is a great question. Within my top 10 CRQs, I have intentionally tried and picked up those questions, A, the latest ones, B, the questions which can actually cover multiple systems. Okay. Now let's go towards the exam requirement, or rather exam requirements. Harper Company currently has a small internal audit function and is considering outsourcing internal audit to a specialist company, Tennyson and Company. Now the requirement is, using the table below, describe two advantages and two disadvantages to Harper Company of outsourcing its internal audit function. What is the note? Can you read the note? Is there any note? You do not need to refer to the scenario to answer this requirement. What does that mean? Thank you very much. It means it's a straightforward bookish knowledge question, and 90% of the worldwide students would score 0 out of 4, and the remaining 10% students would score 4 out of 4. I think it's either black or white. Are you either are you are going to score 4 out of 4, or you're going to score nothing at all? Why would I say that the majority would score 0? Because a significant majority, while attempting the final exam itself, would skip the part A, because they would they will have a plan that let's not go for the part A right now. Once we are done with the part B, once you are done with the entire exam, then we'll see. That's what they are doing at the moment as well. So throughout the session, they are ignoring the straightforward bookish knowledge exam requirements, and they have got a plan that over a particular weekend, after the mock exam, somewhere 1 week before the final exam, they will invest 48 hours and they will prepare all the straightforward bookish knowledge over a particular day or maybe over a particular weekend. That's a rubbish plan, and I can bet my life on it, it's not going to work. If you want to score 4 out of 4, now imagine there will be 3 CRQs. First CRQ having 5 marks, straightforward bookish knowledge. Second CRQ having another 4 marks, straightforward bookish knowledge. Most likely the third and the final CRQ might have another 3 to 4 marks of straightforward bookish knowledge. So overall, it's 10 plus marks. Imagine if you could, let's call it 10 marks. Kiran, imagine you scored 10 out of 10 in straightforward bookish knowledge. And so as Azim, and so as Fatma, and so as Mustafa. Guys, imagine you guys have scored 4 out of 4, 10 out of 10 in straightforward bookish knowledge. Imagine that. Just manifest this. And at the same time, please imagine you have scored 24 out of 30 in section A. Guys, Abdullah, can you imagine you have scored 24 out of 30 in section A, followed up by a 10 out of 10 in straightforward bookish knowledge. So your score is 34. Okay, let's call it 8 out of 10. Let's call it 8 out of 10 in straightforward bookish knowledge, 24 out of 30 in section A. Let's call it 32 out of 40. Yeah, I am loving it. Rest will be easy money. I would call it the rest will be a walk in the park. I would call it peanuts. I would call it uh, it's going to be a smooth ride. Once I have scored 8 out of 10 and 24 out of 30, my score is 32 out of 40. Now, out of the remaining 60 marks, I don't even need 20 because 20 out of 60 is what we call one third. I need 18 out of 60 to pass the paper. That is why I say if you are going to pay respect to the section A lectures available on the VIFHE LMS, and if you will pay respect to the straightforward bookish knowledge on a daily basis, as you prepare the top 30 CRQs, not over a particular weekend, bang, this is the most convenient paper. It's a walk in the park. It is so easy. But the problem is, all around the world, students would love to complicate this. Approximately 6, 7 years ago, uh, I had a very constructive interaction with a tutor from Dubai, and he said, well, we can't teach OT cases. And I said, why? Because he said, we've got only 6 or 8 lectures, 4 hours each. I'm not talking about an online college. So it's not practically possible to focus on the OT cases. And similarly, we don't focus on the bookish knowledge. We are teaching to the working professionals and we assume that they are going to do it on their own. We just focus on the application part, application based questions only. And I said, yeah, I agree that you're teaching to the working professionals, but at the end of the day, on the exam day, a working professional or a full-time student, all are equal. They all have to face the equal music and all have to score equal 50 marks and all are considered equal in the eyes of ACCA. So you the working professionals, if they are going to ignore the section A or the bookish knowledge, they are creating problems for themselves. When I explained this theory to him, he realized that yes, this is the problem. That is why basically it was a collaboration between two colleges. At that point of time, I was teaching in a platinum college, so that was a collaboration between the two colleges, and I had to discuss why pass rates of AA are better at my end. So we were having that discussion. So please try and understand, if over the next 20 days, if you will just focus on a part B, for example, identify and explain 8 deficiencies, and if you will ignore the part A, assuming that, oh, okay, I'll do it 2 days before the exam. And similarly, if you will ignore the OT cases, if you will not attend my lectures using the ACCA Study Hub latest content, if you will not attend my lectures in relation to OT cases using the exam kit, ultimately, on the exam day, once you will start solving the exam, the section A will drain you. The section A will demoralize you. The section A will, you will be on your knees after the section A. And once you will start solving the section B, the straightforward bookish knowledge will create, it will be an insult to the injury. So again, manifest the entire situation. And imagine this negative situation. You have solved the section A in 40 odd minutes and you are feeling very low about it. Now you are entering into your CRQs and the bookish knowledge, you know something about it, but you know for sure that you won't be able to deliver the quality. You just need 70-80% quality to score full marks in the bookish knowledge, but you know you won't be able to do it. Now all of a sudden, it's a mission impossible. It's a mission impossible, and the bad news is you're not Tom Cruise. Exactly. Cannot agree more on that. Sir, for section A, do we have to do OT case? OT? Yes, you have to solve OT cases. One OT case followed up by my lecture. Second OT case followed up by my lecture. If you're using exam kit, solve 3 OT cases and then attend my lecture, because one lecture will cover 3 OT cases. If you are solving OT cases using the latest ACCA Study Hub, solve one OT case and then attend my lecture, because when it comes to the ACCA Study Hub OT cases, I have created individual lectures, one lecture per OT case. For exam kit, I've amalgamated 3 OT cases into one lecture. Am I clear? That's great. Is the bookish knowledge is the bookish knowledge master file on its own enough to prepare the? Yes, it's good enough. For the straightforward bookish knowledge, you have got 2 options. Either to use the straightforward bookish knowledge file, which I will share. Otherwise, this new master file will do the job wonderfully. Okay, guys, this part A is a straightforward bookish knowledge. You need 2 advantages and 2 disadvantages. Guys, can you tell me the part A is from internal control systems? Yes or no? I just need yes or no. Part A is from internal control systems? Yes or no? Thank you very much, Kanika. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Fatma. Thank you, Kajal. Well done. Okay, my next question. Okay. Good. My next question. This part A is a minor topic or a major topic? It's a minor topic or a major topic? Minor. Well done. So, guys, what's the learning outcome? Can we expect a minor topic such as internal audit within a CRQ? The learning outcome is a minor topic such as internal audit can be part of the final exam, can be part of the CRQs. Should we expect minor topics in the section A OT cases? Absolutely. But at the same time, can we expect a minor topic such as internal audit within the CRQs? Absolutely. So let's recall a question called hurling, or let's recall a question called pimento company. The last parts are relevant to a minor topic from the syllabus area A, ethics. Although the entire question or the rest of the question, hurling, or the rest of the question called pimento company is primarily focused on the syllabus area B, audit risk. B, audit risk is a major topic, but at the same time, a certain chunk is allocated by the examiner towards a minor topic such as syllabus area A. So what I always say, do not ignore the minor areas. Absolutely, Rafe. Pay respect. Absolutely, Abdullah. Yes, Martin. Yes, Azim. Absolutely right. So this part A is a straightforward bookish knowledge. 2 advantages and 2 disadvantages. 2 advantages and 2 disadvantages of outsourcing its internal audit function. Harper Company is a company, my audit client. They are considering what is going to be the advantage if they outsource their internal audit function. Well, first of all, if they will outsource their internal audit function to a third party such as KPMG, EY, or Tennyson Company, I'm sure that third party would have a large pool of employees. KPMG will have specialist skills. They will have expertise in IT, data analytics, AI, ERP, e-commerce, oil and gas sector, electronic sector, everything. So they would have specialist skills available, and that too immediately. So the problem of expanding the internal audit, or the problem of having a upsized internal audit department, would be overcome once they will outsource it, because that third party would have a large pool of employees, and that too with specialist skills, and that too immediately available. So that's your first advantage. Second, second advantage. Once Harper company will outsource the internal audit department, that could be cost efficient and that could have cost savings as well. How? They don't have to train the internal employees. They don't have to pay the full-time salary to the employees. They don't have to pay pension and the gratuity payments to the employees. They don't have to, manage. They might end up enjoying certain cost savings because this outsourcing will eliminate a lot of responsibilities, such as the company does not have to train the employees. It's going to be the responsibility of the KPMG or, for that matter, Tennyson and Company. In addition, the cost of the internal audit function will be agreed in advance, which will enable Harper company to budget accordingly. So they will have a clarity that this is the amount which we need to spend on internal audit. So these are two advantages which I've explained, and they would easily score 2 marks. Now, what about two disadvantages? Guys, once the company will decide that they are going to outsource the internal audit department, what about their existing internal audit department? They have to redundant those employees, and this is going to be costly. If those employees cannot be redeployed, the company has to go for the redundancy, and redundancy will cost the company. And there is also a possibility that employees could create a pressure or a resentment towards the outsourcing. Employees could create an environment where they will create some kind of a pressure that don't outsource, keep it in house. So this is going to be a disadvantage. Secondly, in the longer run, this outsourcing activity could result in an increased cost. Maybe in the longer run, the internal audit function cost would be higher. As of now, they were operating with a small internal audit department. Once they will outsource it, in the longer run, they might have to face a lot of cost. Third, they will lose the in-house skills. They will lose the controls. They will not have the control over the employees. So there are multiple disadvantages as well: loss of control, loss of in-house skills, so loss of knowledge. So guys, please prepare more than two advantages and more than two disadvantages. Mind you, in exam, if there are 4 marks, just stick to the examiner's requirement. Just write two advantages and two disadvantages. But as of now, once you will prepare this question twice over the next 24 hours, make sure you prepare 3 advantages and 3 disadvantages. Okay, let's go back to the question. We are done with the part A. See, I did not skip the part A, and I have given as much respect as I can for the part A. Now it's your responsibility that tonight you should prepare 3 advantages and 3 disadvantages by not just reading the answers, you got to type them as well. That is how you start preparing your straightforward bookish knowledge on a daily basis using my top 30 CRQs. Okay, let's go for the part B now. Identify and explain 8 deficiencies in the client's system of internal control. Which system? So the question has not mentioned whether sales system or purchase system or payroll. It means you can use anything. Identify and explain 8 deficiencies. So if I will pick up 9 or 10 deficiencies, I will not write about the 9th one. As a student, I should prepare all 9, all 10, all 11. But if I am attempting the final mock exam or the final exam or the assignment, don't exceed. Go for 8 deficiencies. And then provide a control recommendation. Control recommendation means something opposite of the deficiency. Deficiency is a weak control. Control recommendation is going to be a direct control, which is going to address the deficiency, which is going to be the opposite of deficiency. So there are 16 marks and the breakdown is 8 plus 8. Okay, all set, all ready. Okay, what if I start with my favorite payroll system? Guys, I need your participation and I need your attention. All employees are paid by bank transfer each month. No problem. That's very good. As the payroll system is computerized, the payroll system is computerized. So you can't say that the payroll is being calculated manually, so it's a deficiency. Don't talk about it. I hope somebody is performing certain calculations on a manual basis just to confirm the integrity of the system. As the payroll system is computerized, I said look for the word no or not. As the payroll system is computerized, it is not felt necessary to carry out checks on the payroll calculations, as all updates to the system are automatically downloaded from the software provider and tax authority. Is there any deficiency over here? When I started my lecture, did I mention this? Yes or no? When I started my lecture, did I mention this one? Asib is saying yes. Well done, Azim. Well done, Anandi. Well done, Dhruv. Well done, Martin. Well done, Abdullah. And thank you, Fatima. And thank you, Shireen. Well done. Manual calculations need to be checked again. Not 100%, but on a sample basis. Yes, look out for the word no or not. Okay. Now, what is the deficiency? Step number one, I will copy this entire portion, which is as the payroll system is computerized, it is not felt necessary, blah, blah, blah. Well, this will be considered as a deficiency. Why or how? Guys, what if you have to explain why is it a deficiency? There is a risk or there is a possibility that the calculations performed by the software might have certain errors or certain problems, and those errors or those problems would go unidentified or undetected and they will be processed. This is why is it a deficiency. Now the impact on the business, and as a result of that, the year-end payroll could be materially misstated, and certain employees could be getting overpaid or underpaid, leading towards loss of employee goodwill and could lead to extraordinary payroll costs for the business, unnecessary payroll costs for the business. Now let's check it out. Ignore the yellow part because this is something I've copied from the question. Any system error which occur, what if there are errors within the system? During the payroll processing, they will not be identified. Why? Because nobody is going to perform manual calculation. This could result in wages and salaries being both over or understated. If they are understated, it will lead to loss of employee goodwill. If the wages are overstated, it means unnecessary cost to the business. I hope everyone has conceptually understood why is it a deficiency, what negative impact it will create. Once you have understood everything, still you can fail the exam. Why? Maybe similar, copy paste, same might be there in your exam, but still you can fail. Why? Because you are not doing the hard work. You have to type it the way I have answered it. What's the recommendation? Recall my words. Do not just repeat the deficiency. Always add value. Who should do it? When he should do it. So a senior member of the payroll department, such as the payroll manager, who should do it? A senior payroll manager. How often? Frequency. Should perform a sample of payroll calculations and match it with the calculations performed by the software, if just to make sure there are no processing errors. And once he or she has performed these calculations should be signed as approved prior to the payment being made. So not only he has to reconcile the manual calculations with the software, the concerned individual has to create an evidence by signing that particular manual versus software, comparison. So this is the recommendation which, if the management is going to follow, their issue will be resolved. So we are done with one deficiency along with the recommendation. Let's move forward. All members of the payroll department have access to change the employee standing data. All members of the payroll department have access to change the employee standing data. All members of the payroll department have access to change the employee standing data. If that is the case, there is a possibility I might change the wages of myself. Some of you might change your maybe designation, your hourly wage rate, your allowed holidays, whatnot. Standing data is a sensitive data that should only restricted individuals such as the senior payroll director and the manager can have access to the standing data. Considering the fact all members can actually access the standing data, there is a risk that the employees could change the standing data in their own favor. Okay, let's check it out. All members of the payroll department have access to change employee standing data, which could result in errors or fraudulent or unauthorized changes being made. So as a result of this having access for everyone, there could be errors or there could be fraudulent changes or unauthorized changes being made, which can lead to incorrect payment of wages and salaries. It actually leads to an increased risk of fraud. So this is a very easy and a very common deficiency. What should be the recommendation? How can we address this deficiency? Only senior members of the payroll department should have access to the employee standing data, and this should be protected by the password and multi-factor authentication. So we just want to ensure that only limited individuals can actually change or access the standing data. Okay, so we are done with two. Let's go for the third. On occasion, employees are required to work overtime. Okay, overtime, it's a common story, particularly in busy periods. Okay, overtime is paid monthly in arrears. So for example, if I worked overtime in January, I will be getting paid at the end of January or at the beginning of February. So at the end of the month in which it is worked, all overtime work reports are reviewed by the finance director. Well done. So a senior member from the finance department, finance director, is going to review the overtime work reports. Well done. But each quarter after the overtime has been paid, so for January, the overtime worked was paid at the end of January. For February, the overtime worked was paid at the end of February. For March, the overtime worked was paid at the end of March. And finally, at the end of the quarter, maybe in the first week of April, the finance director is going to review the overtime report. And he is going to review that. Well, it's too late. If there were incorrect payments in relation to the overtime, maybe certain fraudulent payments or errors, they would go undetected and unnoticed for such a long period of time. Why? Because the payments have already been cleared, and now after 3 months, the director is going to perform the review. As a result of that, frauds and errors could go undetected. The recommendation would be at the end of each month, before the payments have been issued, the overtime report should be reviewed by the finance director, and he should create an evidence of that review in the form of signatures, and only then payments should be processed. Is this clear? Can I have yes on the last one? using the chat box. Thank you. Any friend's wage may be changed. Agreed. Martin is saying, sir, during the exam, can I start with the last deficiency from the last paragraph? Absolutely, yes. You can follow any sequence which you like. As all members, fictitious employees, not really fictitious employees, but as all members are able to make the change, yes, agreed. Review after payment is done, agreed. It is being reviewed, agreed. No, any detection of error will be, yes, agreed. Yes. They're very clear. Guys, the breaking news is we are done with the payroll system. That's it. This can result in employees being paid for work not undertaken or the amounts being paid incorrectly, resulting in increased payroll costs for the Harper company. The recommendation is all overtime should be authorized by a responsible official when? Before the payment is made to the relevant employees. And that responsible official maybe the individual line manager who's likely to have more oversight of the, and he has to create an evidence of that review or that authorization. Okay, this last sentence is super important. This authorization should be evidence in writing. This is a very important sentence. Guys, I need to ask a question. How many deficiencies were there in relation to the payroll system? How many deficiencies were there in relation to the payroll system? Now those, thank you very much, 33333, absolutely. Now those who have already covered my top 10 CRQs, my drafting techniques, and my knockout punch on the internal control systems through the LMS, I want to know, out of these three, which one is new, which one is old? Maybe all of them are new, maybe all of them are old. So what do you say? Thank you very much. I truly believe that none is new, all are old. Absolutely. If you have covered my lectures using, well, what I call knockout punch on the internal control systems, if you have covered my top 10 CRQs, well, I am super dead sure that all these questions, sorry, all these points are highly repetitive. I will not say old, I will say they are very old. So, guys, can you expect similar points in your final exam? Absolutely, yes. These are from the 24 March June 24 exam. So you can have similar in the upcoming exam window. But still, many students would fail and they will not score full marks because they will not do the hard work. Hard work means once I'm done with this session, you got to type and prepare the same CRQ at least twice each within the next 15 hours. It's up to you. The ball will be in your court. Now, let's go towards the sales system. Please concentrate and stop using the chat box for a couple of minutes. Okay, just for a couple of minutes. Goods sold to individuals are paid for at the time of purchase with cash or credit card, and each store must submit a daily sales report to the finance department located at head office at the end of each day. Mind you, there are 20 stores with one head office. So once the goods are sold to an individual customer, that individual customer is going to pay either cash or maybe that individual customer is going to pay through the card. At the end of each day, each and every store has to submit a daily sales report to the finance department. And where is the finance department? Located at the head office. Okay, at the end of each day. No problem. There is no deficiency. Every day they are submitting a report to the finance department. That's all right. The daily sales report for all stores are reconciled to the cash and credit card takings reports from the cash register every Friday by a senior finance clerk. Please don't raise an objection on clerk. The real problem is why they are not performing this reconciliation on a more frequent basis. Ideally speaking, why not on a daily basis? They have to perform a reconciliation between the sales system and the cash and the credit card takings. But why not on a daily basis? So this is the problem. This reconciliation is being performed too late. They are performing the reconciliation on a weekly basis. Reconciling the sales to the cash and the credit card receipt once a week is too infrequent, and it may result, future tense, it may result in errors or missing cash not being detected on a timely basis, which increases the risk of fraud. I am not saying that this is 100% poor control. They are actually performing a reconciliation of the sales system operated and managed by the head office with the cash and the card takings. But why not this reconciliation on a daily basis? Why on a weekly basis? This reconciliation only once a week, I would consider it as too infrequent, which could result in frauds or errors being detected not on a timely basis, which can lead to problems or losses for the company. Recommendation is daily sales report should be reconciled with the cash and the credit card receipts on a daily basis, and this reconciliation should be performed by a senior person from the finance department, and if there is any discrepancy, that should be investigated or followed up immediately on a daily basis. So we should not drag and delay this reconciliation process. And mind you, if you are that senior person who is going to perform that reconciliation, you should create an evidence of that reconciliation. This is very important. You need to create an evidence of this reconciliation in the form of signatures. Is this clear? Can I have yes on that? Well done, Kajal. Delay in reconciliation would lead to significant variances being ignored. Well done. The reconciliation should be performed on a daily basis. Ibrahim, well done. It might ignore any discrepancy not being detected on a timely basis. Agreed. By way of signature. Agreed. So guys, can I have yes, 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 yes on that? Are we all clear? Okay, thank you very much. Lovely, lovely. Let's move forward towards another one. New corporate customers are required to undergo credit checks. Well done. Without the credit check, I would have considered it as a deficiency. Let me repeat. New corporate customers are required to undergo credit checks. But on some occasions, this has not happened due to staff shortages in the sales department. Oh my God. Guys, is this a deficiency? This is a very simple and a straightforward deficiency. There is a risk that certain new corporate customers would be accepted or they would become the customers without the proper evaluation of their credit worthiness, leading towards bad debts. The company might be dealing with customers not having good enough credit worthiness or reputation. So providing credit facilities to corporate customers without credit check could result in high risk that goods will be sold to uncredit worthy customers. Uncredit worthy customers. And as a result of that, Harper company may face a higher risk of irrecoverable receivables, leading towards loss of profitability. The recommendation is all new corporate customers must go credit checks to ensure their credit score is reasonable, and this must be performed by a responsible senior person such as sales director, and he or she should create an evidence of this review by way of signature. Guys, each and every one of you, you have got 1 minute. Please read it. And before you start reading it, recall my words. My words should echo in your mind. Do not just repeat the deficiency. Add value. Who should do it? How often? Now read it. Now read it. The highlighted portion. Yes, Mustafa, you are right. Martin, you are absolutely right. Azim, you are absolutely right. You are absolutely right. Because these are corporate customers, not a senior person has to do it. A responsible official. Well done. Guys, please read the recommendation. Do not just repeat the deficiency. Guys, are you absolutely clear with this one? Sir, the next text underneath. A receivable account should only be opened for the new customer once a credit. This is the last sentence is saying once the credit check has been performed, only then a new corporate customer should be added. Otherwise, no. Goods should be sold only after credit checks are performed. But who should perform it? So this needs more depth. Your answer is not incorrect, but it will not fetch complete 1 mark. Guys, we are done with second deficiency in relation to the sales. Last one. Corporate customers are provided with credit terms of 30 days and all invoices are paid by bank transfer. Each day, Sam Turner, a finance clerk, posts the bank receipts from the online banking system to the bank ledger account. Each day, Sam Turner, a finance clerk, posts the bank receipts from the online banking system to the bank ledger account, updates the customer accounts, and finally prepares the bank reconciliation. Is there any problem? Is there any problem? Oh, lack of segregation of duty or a weak segregation of duty. So my recommendation would be that there should be two individuals involved in posting the bank receipt from the online banking system to the ledger, or second individual should update the customer accounts. And if it is not practically possible, at least bank reconciliation should be performed by someone other than Sam Turner. So at least the bank reconciliation should not be performed by the same individual, because bank reconciliation would identify or highlight if there are any discrepancies due to fraud or error. So at least bank reconciliation should be performed by someone else. So guys, let's go for this one. There is a lack of segregation of duty, and any error or a fraud may not be identified on a timely basis because only one person is carrying out everything that increases the risk of fraud and error. Recommendation: the roles of posting the bank receipts, updating the customer accounts, and carrying out the bank reconciliation should be performed by different individuals within the finance department. If this is not possible, at least, if not three, at least bank reconciliation should be performed by someone else. Guys, now I need to know a question. I need to ask a question. How many deficiencies were there in the sales system? I remember in the payroll system, there were 3. Yes, weak segregation of TD. So do there may be any self-interest threat? How many deficiencies are there in the sales system? Three. Well done. Now, out of these three, how many were new and how many were old? Take your time. Don't rush. Take your time. Recall the knockout punch available through the LMS. Recall my top 10 CRQs. The all lectures are available through the LMS. And let me know how many are old and how many are new. Certain customers are going without the credit check. That is surely old. Weak or lack of segregation of duty. Mr. Sam is doing pretty much everything on his own. That's surely old. What about the first one? Well, reconciliation is being performed, but unfortunately, reconciliation is being performed on a weekly basis rather than on a daily basis. This activity is super crucial and sensitive, so this can and this should be performed on a daily basis. So, majority of you, in fact, 100% of you are saying that it is an old point as well. I don't know why I felt the first deficiency is maybe a new one, but according to you, you guys are obviously well prepared than me. So far we have discussed six deficiencies and all six are old. Wonderful. Let's go for the final system, which is about purchases and inventory system. Guys, please concentrate. I just need 5 to 10 minutes more. Harper Company has a purchase ordering department. Okay. And the purchase ordering department is based at its head office. Okay, fine. No problem. On receipt of an approved purchase requisition, a purchasing clerk raises a purchase order based on the approved supplier listing. So they've got an approved supplier listing. That's great. Which is regularly updated as well. That's great. So this is our direct control. They've got an approved supplier list, which is regularly updated. That's great. Purchase orders over $5,000 are authorized by the purchasing director, and those below 5,000 are processed immediately. It means any purchase order below $5,000 does not require any authorization. Is this a familiar, common, old deficiency? Yes or no? Is this a common, familiar, old deficiency? Absolutely. There is a risk that purchasing clerks could make non-business purchases, or they might be making business related goods through the company for their own use. And as a result of that, because there is no review, this could lead to fraudulent transactions. This could lead to extraordinary cost for the business. Recommendation is each and every purchase order should be authorized by a responsible official, but that will not score complete mark. You have to create authorization limit. For example, a junior manager can authorize transactions below $5,000, or a senior manager or a director has to authorize transactions over and above $5,000. Now you will score one complete mark. Is this old or new? Are you all well prepared for that? Yes, Mustafa, you are absolutely right, though your message is not for everyone. Yes, Almas Fatma, you are absolutely right. Azimi is saying it's an old one. Everyone, so far we have discussed seven deficiencies along with seven recommendations. And guess what? Everything is old. Everything. Let's go for the final one, the eighth one. Goods received in the central warehouse. Goods received in the central warehouse are inspected for both quality and quantity. Wow. And checked against the supplier's delivery note. It means the goods are not checked against can you complete my sentence? Let's read it again. Goods received in the central warehouse are inspected for quality and quantity, okay, and checked against the supplier's delivery note. So they are not checked against the purchase order. Well done. So what if company or the centralized warehouse department would end up accepting goods which were never ordered, or maybe they will accept excessive goods. They are not making a comparison with the original purchase order, and as a result of that, company might have to pay an extraordinary cost, or they might end up purchasing or receiving unnecessary goods. So the recommendation is all the goods should be checked not only for quantity and quality, they should be checked with not only with the supplier's delivery note, also with the original purchase orders, so that only goods which were actually ordered could be received. The supplier may have delivered goods which were not ordered, or maybe not in the correct quantity or in the quality, but we won't be able to detect it because we are only making a comparison of goods received with the good received note, not with the purchase order. So as a result of that, the company might have to pay. We might end up paying for goods we never ordered. Recommendation: the warehouse team should agree the receipt of the goods to the purchase order as well as the supplier delivery note. I'm not against the delivery note, but I want purchase order as well, so that we only, and this whole comparison should be evidence in the by way of a signature. So this last sentence is super important, with the checks being evidence by way of signature. So this is really, really important. I'm telling you, this is really, really important. Okay, guys, let's go for now. We are done with 8. How many deficiencies were required? 8, and we are done with 8. Okay, let's read another one. A good received note is electronically produced by a member of the central warehouse, and a notification is sent to the finance department. Guys, listen to me. Imagine I am working in the central warehouse. I have received the goods. A good received note will be produced and it will be sent to the finance department. Only the warehouse and the finance department have access rights to view the completed good received note. Did you attend my lecture from the beginning? One copy of the good received note will be held by the warehouse. One copy will be sent to the finance department. Obviously, one copy will be taken away towards the supplier itself. What about the purchasing department? What about the purchasing department? They have got no view, no clarity, no vision whether the goods which they ordered 10 days ago, 15 days ago, 20 days ago, which goods have been received by the company or not. So one copy of the good received note should be sent to the purchasing department so that they could perform a review or a reconciliation of goods which they ordered and goods which have been received. And if certain goods are still pending, they could do a follow-up. This is a very, very common and an old point. Last one. A payable clerk inputs purchase invoices into the system and updates the individual supplier accounts. No problem. Document count controls are used to ensure that correct number of invoices have been input, but no other checks are performed. It means you can ensure that all invoices have been input. So the complete controls in relation to the completeness are there, but other controls such as hash totals or document other controls which will ensure the accuracy of the invoices or the data, they are not being implemented. So this is another deficiency. Let's read and let's check out the last two. If the purchasing department does not have access to GRN, they cannot monitor whether the purchase orders have been fulfilled or not. So as a result of that, there is a risk that certain orders which the company has placed have not been received. As a result of that, company might face stockouts. The company could face stockouts and the customers could face problems as well because production would be delayed. Recommendation is one copy of the purchasing good receive note should go towards the purchasing department so that they could perform a reconciliation and they could follow up with the unfulfilled orders. They can only follow up with the unfulfilled orders. They could only follow up once they have a vision, once they have access. Last one, document count controls can confirm the completeness of input, but they cannot verify the accuracy or validity of input. So if the invoices are not input correctly, supplier may not be paid on time or may be paid incorrect amounts, leading to an overpayment or an underpayment. Guys, not just the controls in relation to completeness, the clerk should also apply other controls such as accuracy checks, hash totals to ensure that the sum of all the individual invoices is equal to the total which they have posted. So guys, I'm done. Now I need to ask you a question. How many deficiencies were there in relation to the purchase system? How will the purchase department know that the goods ordered are delivered in right quality and quantity? Martin has asked a question. How will the purchase department know? Martin, purchase department would get to know whether the goods which they ordered were received or not in right quantity and quality with the help of good receive note. Who's going to produce the good receive note? The warehouse department. They are going to check both the quantity and quality, and they should reconcile the quality and the quantity not just with the goods receive delivery note, but also with the purchase order. Once they will produce a copy of good receive note, once the copy will be sent to the purchasing department would get to know that the correct quantity and quality have been received. Guys, overall, there were three deficiencies in the sales system, all three old. Three deficiencies in the payroll system, all were old. And four deficiencies in the purchases and inventory system, all were old. The whole question is surely loaded with old deficiencies. And trust me, if you have prepared my knockout punch through the LMS along with my top 10 CRQs, you will find no problem whatsoever in this topic. 5 and 6, can you please explain in a common question how to remember? Well, for 5, I can have a word on 5. Always remember one copy of the good receive note should go to the purchasing department as well. Similarly, one copy of the goods delivery note should go to the sales department as well. Note it down somewhere. That's it. One copy of the good receive note should go to the purchasing department as well so that they are aware which goods have been delivered. And similarly, one copy of the goods delivery note should be sent to the sales department. Okay, I've got another question. Please share the bookish knowledge question PDF in the group. I will. I've got, sir, can you please explain what means hash to? For example, you have got 10 invoices and you have entered the data of 10 invoices and you're just making sure, did I enter all 10? That will ensure the completeness. What about the individual sum of first invoice plus the individual sum of second? So you need to make sure that all individual sums are equal to a greater sum. That will ensure the accuracy and the validity of the data as well. Guys, this question, definitely one copy will be retained by the warehouse and definitely one copy will go to the finance department. For goods received note, one copy will be retained by warehouse, one copy will be sent to the finance department, one copy should go to the purchasing department, 3 copies within the company, and one copy will be taken back by the supplier. So overall, there are 4 copies. What about good delivery note? One copy will be retained by the warehouse, one copy to the finance department, and 1 copy to the sales ordering department. 3 copies. I haven't grasped how the OT questions will be tackled. Please clarify. I'm confused. Please join the revision batch, and as a result of that, you will have access to the section A content using both the exam kit and the study hub, and your problems would be absolutely clear. Definitely, a customer is not an in-house person. 1 copy of the good dispatch note will be sent to the customer as well, but that is not retained within the company. Definitely 1 copy will go to the customer as well. There are 4 copies. 3 copies are retained within the company. 1 copy would go to the supplier or to the customer. 3 copies would be retained within the company. One to the warehouse, one to the finance, and one either to the purchasing department or to the sales department, depending upon are we discussing sales or purchase. Is this clear? Is this clear? Can I have yes on that? Okay, now I'm feeling better. Sir, yesterday and today as well, while identifying risk and test of control, what is the implication of materiality? Well, the implication of materiality would be discussed in the sessions over the weekend. Materiality is something which is considered in the syllabus area D and E past paper questions, not in the control system. For as of now, a quick answer: materiality has got nothing to do with the control systems. Control systems are the policies and procedures. Materiality is mostly a financial concern. So nothing. Materiality has got nothing to do with the syllabus area C. Guys, sir, today's webinar main course is completed. Can I take a leave? Absolutely, you can. Guys, Um, this AA exam is a very easy exam provided you follow a disciplined approach. Motivation is something which is a variable, it's vulnerable. Your motivation can be affected or influenced due to multiple factors. One day, 1 week, one weekend, on a particular weekend, you are feeling super motivated and you have a plan to study for 20 hours or 10 hours per day, 20 hours over the weekend, but your motivation can go down. Please follow a disciplined approach. Be disciplined. And if you are going to have a disciplined approach over the next 1 month, you will definitely ace the exam. So have a disciplined approach. Now, in this session, I've covered syllabus area C. Over the weekend, I will have 2 new sessions, and those 2 new sessions would target the syllabus area D and E. So please, if you are still considering, join the batch and make the best use of it. And wishing you all the best for your AA exam and the future and the life beyond it. Now, if you've got any other query or concern, please let me know. What time is the webinar this weekend? Same link? No, not the same link. The next 2 sessions are for the revision batch students, not that those sessions will not be available publicly. And the time would be the Friday session would be no Friday's break. The Saturday session would be somewhere around 11 a.m. UAE time. I will confirm it through the WhatsApp. And Sunday session would be same 11 a.m. UAE time. I will confirm it through the WhatsApp group. Okay, now it's time for me to take your leave. How to enroll, please? Saturday and Sunday, what time, where to get? The link would be available through the VIFHE LMS. The details would be shared in the WhatsApp group. How to enroll? Well, you got to contact me. I will share the details in relation to the enrollment. Okay. Is it okay? Can I share the details in relation to the enrollment? Otherwise, Otherwise, you simply have to go towards the website and you can enroll. Your promises. Yes, I will share the master file right after the session. Anything else? Saturday, Sunday webinars are relevant to the syllabus area D, substantive procedures, which are not for all, only for the revision batch students. Any other query or concern from anyone? Please post your queries in the chat box because I want to answer everything and then I want to take your leave. Give me a second, please. Which questions will be done on the weekend relevant to the syllabus area D and E? Uh, no, the regular students have to attend the Saturday and Sunday session as well. Again, the details would be shared in the WhatsApp group. What about section A? Ibrahim, I didn't understand your question. What about section A? What do you want to ask? I did not understand. Sir, I want to join an audit team as a trainee. In your opinion, is it better to start during ACCA skill level stage or wait? No, you should start that as soon as possible. In fact, you should start it today, tonight. The sooner the better. ACCA qualification is designed in such a way that if you are going to be a working professional, that will make your life a lot easier. I personally hate full-time students. Okay, any other question? I mean revision for section A. Ibrahim, are you done with 100% lectures relevant to the section A of your exam using the LMS? Have you covered all my lectures with respect to the latest ACCA Study Hub content and the exam kit? No, sir. Ibrahim, what are you doing then? What kind? You don't need any revision for section A. You need to make the best use of the LMS. Are you part of the batch? How to access the LMS? Well, oh, give me a second, please. I've shared the link in the chat box. Use this link and join the double A revision course for the March 2026 exam window. And if you feel any concern or any problem, you can always reach out to me personally through the WhatsApp text. I love replying WhatsApp text messages. I am not a huge fan of WhatsApp voice notes. I will reply in the form of WhatsApp voice notes. I'm allowed because you will be receiving one or two or three voice notes from me. But if I start receiving WhatsApp voice notes, I would end up receiving 80, 120 voice notes in a in a day, or maybe 150 voice notes in a 24-hour period. So that is why you have to consider sending me. I've shared my number as well, but the best approach is to go onto the website and then you don't need to worry about anything. So in the chat box, I've shared my number, which is +971 580 71924. Let me repeat, +971 580 71924. 924. So you can always contact me. You can always reach out to me through the WhatsApp text, and you are more than welcome to join the double A batch. Thank you very much. Wishing you all the best, not only for your double A exam, but for the rest of the ACCA journey and the life beyond it. Wishing you good luck. I really hope so that this little effort from my side, which I did last night, followed up by today, this was helpful. This would have given you certain confidence, certain clarity. And yes, once I'm done with this session, I will definitely fulfill my promise and I will share what I call the latest master file. And this is the glimpse of it. Oh, this is the latest master file. The March 2026 master file. So yes, I will share it. Thank you very much. I hope this helps. Thank you very much. Take care. Thank you for your kind words. Edmore, Kiran, Belina. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Ibrahim. Thank you, Ibrahim. Looking forward to see you. Ishtar, thank you very much and looking forward to see you. Join the batch. Thank you. Good luck. Bye bye. See you soon. It's better late than never. Don't delay. Join it now. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So nice of you. Thank you. Bye bye. Night, night.